I was wondering when you'd show up.
I came as fast as I could. Where are the villagers?
In a safe place. Not the most beautiful part of this city, but it'll do, for now. Ah, and I sent Ralph to an apothecary. Despite the fire nettle, his cramps have gotten worse.
I see. How was the rest of the journey?
Well, a handful of the General's soldiers followed us, but we handled them. Probably didn't expect any resistance from an old crone like me and a couple of farmers. I only wish we hadn't lost so many people. I know you did your best, but there's gonna be a lot of grieving in the next moons. Damn that crazy general. What did we do to him? Nothing. Either way, that's not why you're here, right? You kept your promise, and I'll keep mine.
Allies? Does that mean you'll introduce me to those friends of yours?
Yes. In fact, I've already told him about you. His name is Phelan Argyll, the mayor of this city.
Will he meet with me?
Yes, just go to his house and tell the guard that you're sent by Clara Farland. She'll let you in. So, I guess this is where we part ways, isn't it? It was a pleasure, Tahar. Thank you for everything.
Likewise. What will you and your people do now?
Play it by ear, I suppose. That's what I've always been good at.
Sure.
State your business.
Clara Farland sent me.
Huh. The description fits. Fine, go on in. Argyll is waiting for you.
As a free city, Everlight's leadership is not chosen by the right of blood, but elected by the town's nobility. The most recent mayor, Phelan Argyll, has been in power for over 7 years now, and is known for his endeavors to drastically reduce crime.
Well, well, if it isn't the notorious betrayer's child. I always wondered what you looked like. I had something different in mind. I'm Phelan Argyll, Mayor of Everlight. Pleased to make your acquaintance. But let us cut to the chase, shall we? Clara has told me you're looking for an ally. One that can help you put an end to the bloodburn.
So, can you help us?
I believe I can. Let me introduce you to the Wayfarers. Come on in. Tahar, this is Rowan, leader of the Wayfarers, one of the most able mercenary groups on EO.
Rohan?
Tahar. Tiara's breath.
I take it you were acquainted already?
This man used to be my father's right hand during the Mage Wars. He was the one who told him of my plans to leave the rebels.
Interesting.
Don't act so surprised, Argyll. You knew of my past. And you also know that I'm the only reason this war is over.
If I hadn't told the Crown of Asamo's attack on the keep, he would have won. So yes, Tahar, you're right. I told Asamo about your betrayal. But ever since then, I've tried to repent.
Seems that everybody is busy repenting these days. Does it work?
Look, you're angry. And after what I did, you have all the right to be. But this is not the time for discussion. You need an ally, and we're all you're going to get. So, please, let us just put this behind us, even if it's just for now. Let the Wayfarers help you.
Who in the blazes are the Wayfarers?
Mercenaries, as Argal said. I founded them right after the war.
Mercenaries?
Yes. But that's just how we pay for our shelter and our food. Most of the time, the Wayfarers are helping people. Refugees, farmers, homeless. We're protecting those who the Crown has forgotten.
Very poetic. And how do I know you're telling the truth?
He is.
Thanks. Look, Tahar, I know I messed up. I served a monster for over 6 years of my life. But I regret it. And I'm trying to make amends.
So, this army of yours, what can you offer?
Knowledge, tactics, swords. Whatever it is you and the Harbinger need to end the Bloodburn, we'll help you.
Fine, but we'll have a lot to talk about, Rohan.
Yes, I know.
Well, that's settled then. But as much as I appreciate your presence, I would like you, Rowan, to hear, and your soldiers, to leave this city as soon as possible. An army this size of the Wayfarers will draw the Royal Army's attention sooner or later. And that's something neither of us want to happen.
Right. I'll see you around then.
I'll take a look. Huh?
Tiara's breath. You haven't promised too much, Tahar. This place is incredible.
Just wait until you see it in action.
Just don't forget, we're here for a purpose.
I won't. I'll go talk to Flynn now. We need to find a good place to set up camp. And, if you want to talk, you know, about the past, then feel free to come by.
In any case, with our new alloys, we should be able to go look for the stones.
Now look at that. The fabled Corporal. Good to finally meet you in person. I'm Flynn, second in command of the Wayfarers. I have to say, for someone who only led a puny Nortander division once, you're doing quite a good job leading an army so far. Not of them saying I couldn't do better, but still. Anyway, if you come to arm our men, I strongly suggest you do so.
But you're armed already, aren't you?
Well, yes, with rusty swords and dented armors. I mean with proper equipment. If you give me the coin, I'll send out orders to my contacts in Everlight. It'll improve our strike force significantly.
Can you tell me more about you? Rowan seems to think highly of you.
As he should. What do you want to know?
What did you do before the Wayfarers were formed?
Depends on how far before we're talking. I did some jobs here and there and then joined the military.
You were in the Royal Army?
Yes. I was even part of the Wolf Guard for a year or so.
Really? How come we never met?
Because that was way before your time. I know I don't look it, but I'm quite some years ahead of you, Tahar. I served under General Noria, under Sentenza, before that disaster at the Iskander Fortress.
How come you left?
Well, there were a couple of reasons. In a nutshell, I didn't agree with some of the things Sentenza made us do. So I deserted, just like you. Anyway, after I left, I went back into the mercenary business for a while. Then the Mage War broke out, things went to shit, and I went into hiding. Finally, a year ago, I met Rowan, and he told me about his idea. I immediately agreed. Doing good while not being bound to uniforms, orders, and morning drills was something I'd always wanted to do. I simply didn't expect anyone else to share that vision.
I want to buy some better equipment for the Wayfarers.
Music to my ears. What did you have in mind?
Huh. Interesting.
Ah, Tahar.
Seems your men have made themselves comfortable.
Yeah, they have. There was a small disagreement between Flynn and the orcs, but we settled that, so it's all good now. But I'm guessing that's not what you came here for. You want to talk, right? About what I did 8 years ago?
Actually, I don't. The past is the past.
Well, if you say so. Then is there anything else you want to talk about?
I remember that back in the Rebellion, ancient relics such as the Godstones were your speciality. Is there anything interesting you could tell me about them?
Interesting? That depends on what you mean by that. I mean, it goes without saying that what this rune allows us to do is beyond fascinating. Apart from that, I could only tell you the things you already know. How both the Hibernians and Shapers worshipped them and harnessed their magic. But that's about it.
So, regarding the Wayfarers, you said that you founded them to make amends. Is that true? And if yes, how did you found them?
Yes, otherwise I wouldn't have said it.
As to how I formed them, it's a long story. And maybe one we should save for later.
I want to talk about my father.
I figured you'd want to eventually. What is it you want to know?
Do you think it's true? But he was simply crazy.
Towards the end, yes. He had certainly lost his sanity. But before that, I still don't know. I've said it before, but there's one part of me that likes to think he was a madman to begin with. And then there's the other voice that tells me that he was merely a visionary who had lost his way. But if there's one thing I know, it's that he was a leader. Whenever he spoke to us, it was electric. To this day, I've never seen someone with his charisma.
You sound almost nostalgic.
Nostalgic? No. It's just... I've never met someone with that energy. You have some of it, Tahar. I only started to realize that here. But most of it is still asleep.
This might sound strange, but do you see any resemblance between him and me?
Interesting that you ask. Yes, there were moments where I could not help but notice that certain... something that strongly reminds me of your father.
Could you be a bit more specific?
Well, I think that the best way to describe it is a sort of look in your eyes. It's somehow distant, but at the same time driven and intense. And it can be both intimidating and charismatic. I believe that it's this energy that helped your father rally the noble houses and all these mages behind him. And ironic as it may be, it might help you with our cause too.
My father never told me how he grew up. Do you know anything about that?
About his childhood? I'm afraid not. He shared some fragments of his past with me, but probably no more than he shared with you.
Let's discuss something else. I'll be off.
I must say, I am impressed.
With Mullendeer? Yes. It's quite a sight. I still can't believe we're the first ones who found this place.
It seems unlikely, yes, but yet it happened. Iskrim, the dwarf, told me about it. He said that the rock illusion shielding the entrance vanished as soon as you spoke the words, and that it did not react to Iskrim himself.
Tell me, Tahar, what do you make of that?
No idea. A lot of strange things have happened since Leonon, and I'm still trying to make sense of them.
I can imagine.
I believe we stand on the verge of a change. Things have happened, Tahar. Things, the extent of which we have not even come close to comprehending. And they have set something in motion.
You're talking about the Bloodburn?
Among other things, yes. But as I said, there is more to it. All this, your journey, your role in what Rondar Lacane believes to be a vision sent by Aenir. It is only the beginning. But let us continue this discussion when I can give you more than vague, semi-prophetic statements.
All right. We'll talk later.
Why? When?
When something comes up. I'll go prepare for our next mission now.
Understood.
finally out of this blasted city. What a mess.
How are you settling in?
Well, I'm still trying to get used to the idea that I'll be working in an old shape of ruin from now on. Either way, I promised you my help, and here I am. Give me some material and some coin, and I promise you that I'll fabricate the finest weapons and armors you have ever seen.
Good. I'm looking forward to it.
Armors, shields, everything from copper daggers to moon silver swords. Farewell.
What a beautiful place you found yourself here. Hard to believe that it was right in Iskander territory all this time. As promised, I'll set up shop around here somewhere. My contacts should still be able to get some good wares from Greyfell and Everlight. And, of course, I'll give you a big discount.
Thanks.
Hey, you're an adventurer, aren't you? Come take a look. I'm sure I've got something that might spark your interest. Good choice.
Ellen's Reigns. What a journey. But I must admit, this city is a marvel. Such beauty. It almost makes me forget the reason I'm here.
Are you still, heartbroken?
I shall forever be heartbroken. But none of that matters anymore. If the fire in her heart does not burn as brightly for me as mine does for her, then so be it. Tell me, do you mind if I stick around for a while longer? Iskander isn't safe these days, especially not for a vagabond elf, and there's no way on Io I'm going back into that accursed city. Even if the darkest alleys of Everlight carry her flowery scent, even the most mischievous of voices whisper her lovely words, even...
Maybe you could even help us out with your skills.
Of course. Though there aren't many elves around yet that I could help, don't you think?
That will change. Just set up your forge around here somewhere.
I will. Goodbye, Tahar, and thank you again for being there when my heart needed mending.
Let me see.
Well, well, Corporal. You didn't exaggerate. This place is beautiful. Thanks again for giving me this chance. So, let's talk about why you brought me here. I have spoken to some of your commanders, and I think my knowledge can help you. I will need some coin to cover the materials, but it will be affordable. Just let me know if you need anything.
Axes, daggers, swords, everything for the wary traveler. A fair offer.
For decades, the Mohir elves, exiled from Finan Mir, have roamed Io in search of a new home. In Nortander, they were promised lands of their own. But as the Mage Rebellion arose, they were quickly forgotten. Now, years later, they have taken shelter in a nomadic settlement in Leafshade, a dense, dangerous jungle, amidst the no-man's land between Utran and Wulfgar.
All right. The Morhir settlement should be a little further to the north.
All right, then. What's the plan?
Well, I suggest we try to find their settlement first and then talk to their scryers. They're the ones who make the decisions.
Good. Then lead the way.
Yes?
This looks like a beaten path. I think it should take us to the village.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting.
Tiara's breath. What? What was that?
No idea. That man looked completely mad, as if something had eaten away his mind. I'll take a look.
Good move.
All right.
blasted armor.
You'll regret this.
Get ready!
Alright, why not? That's the way?
All right, here goes nothing. Fair enough. Let's do this. Get ready.
Understood.
Sounds like a plan.
Is this the village?
Should be. And don't ask me why there's no one guarding the entrance.
There have been, until some hours ago. They're further down in the village.
Can't believe we're still having this discussion.
What is it?
Tell me.
Who are you?
Just a traveler. Don't mind me.
When our people were on the run. Just face it, she never helped us. None of the Guardians did.
Well, maybe they would have if it weren't for heretics like you. We are Ellen's children, all of us.
We are the children of our mothers and our fathers, for heck's sake. If you are so pious, then why did you leave Finn and Mir in the first place? What we need is rationality and reason, not praying to the gods that have left us.
Heresy, Varden. This is heresy.
Salangar. A pure blood. Just when I thought this day couldn't get any better.
Not what I'd call myself. I haven't been in Finn and Mir for 8 years.
Is that so? Well, who am I to judge? Who let you in?
There weren't any guards.
What? Great. Just great. This is getting better and better. But please, forgive my manners. I'm Varden Merilith, second scryer of Lathwain. Who are you? And what do you want? Are you with the soldiers?
That's a long story.
So you're the corporal from Lianon? Well, that's a surprise. I know the story, and once more I would like to apologize for what Scryer Elion did. She should not have opened fire. And also, I would like to express my admiration for your courage. I know you refused to carry out the order your general gave you.
How?
A scout observed the conversation you had with that man. Either way, your story sounds bizarre, but I don't think you are lying. And after the events in Lianon, it's only fair if we help you now, to make up for it. Not to mention the fact that the bloodburn needs to be stopped.
So you'll provide us with troops?
It's not that simple. I have to bring up the matter before the other scryers, and they all have to agree. But not now. We currently have our own sack of problems to deal with.
What problems do you have?
The short version? Leafshade has been struck by the bloodburn. Elves and animals are affected, and for some reason it has a different effect on us than it has on your race. It corrupts us.
Corrupts?
Drives us mad. And if that weren't enough, the Council can't decide on a course of action. Pathetic, isn't it? People are dying, but all we do is bicker.
How many of you are affected?
Not as many as in your kind. 1 in 10, maybe. And for some reason, the infection only spreads outside the city borders.
We were attacked by an old elf near the village. He seemed to have gone mad. Was that this corruption?
If he had been drooling like a rabid animal and his skin had been covered in blisters full of pus, then yes. You said he was old.
Yes.
And it might have been old Ravel. He went out hunting a week ago and never returned. Blazes. What a mess.
Where do you and Finrior disagree?
Oh, that's simple. Finrior claims that the corruption has nothing to do with the bloodburn, but is a curse of the Guardians. Of Ellen, to be precise.
I take it you have a different view on that.
I do. The Guardians are gone. This is a fact we have to deal with.
So where do you think this corruption comes from?
As I said, I think it's just how we elves react to the bloodburn.
As I said, I'm trying to find a cure for the bloodburn. Maybe I might be able to help.
You want this alliance to happen as quick as possible, don't you? Well, yes, maybe your knowledge about the bloodburn could indeed help us. Give me a moment to think this through, will you? There are some things I need to consider.
All right.
Varden, please, would you mind leaving these travelers alone with your obscure theories?
Yes, sure, Arlen. Just keep on acting as if the bloodburn isn't a threat. Blazes, wake up! We need to face the facts or we will go down. It's as simple as that.
Facts? There aren't any facts. There's no evidence that the bloodburn is related to this at all.
Is that so? And what about your Guardian theory?
We should...
Huh? And Evran? What are you doing here?
What are these two arguing about?
I don't see why that concerns you. How did you get in here anyway? Get lost.
If you
What? Who are you? Who let you in?
The gate was unguarded.
Really? Next thing you know, this place is being overrun by undead because the guards have all gathered to hear us bicker. You're from Gravefell, aren't you? I recognize that accent. I'm Arlen Finriar, first scryer of this settlement. What do you want?
I'm looking for allies, but let me start from the beginning.
Ah, so you're Isamo Taha's child. Well, you're lucky, I believe, that the Guardians have given us all a free will. I can see that you're nothing like your father, and it's true that the bloodburn has to be ended. I can agree with those crazy cultists on that much.
So you're going to help us?
I would if I could, but as you may have gathered by now, we have our own battle to fight here. Ellen has cursed us.
You're talking about the bloodburn, right? The corruption?
Ah, so you've had a chat with Merilith already? No, the corruption has nothing to do with the bloodburn. It's a curse, inflicted by Ellen, the Mistweaver, our Holy Mother. Briefly put, we were cast out of the Finnanmere Empire after we expressed doubts about the Elven Council.
Yes, I know the story.
As you can imagine, the years we spent on the road searching for a new home were strenuous. And as a result of that, more and more of our people lost faith in the Guardians, which is ironic, since our faith was one of the reasons we were cast out in the first place.
And what does all this have to do with the corruption?
Isn't it obvious? It's Ellen's punishment for us turning our backs on her.
You mean...
Yes. Ellen has protected our kind for millennia. And now, we have betrayed her. This is her punishment.
If we help you lift this curse, would you be willing to ally yourselves with us?
Well, the bloodburn is a scourge for all races, so, yes. Should you help us, I could take up the matter with the other scryers. But let me think about it first, will you? This isn't something I can decide on the spot.
Oh, great. Now you've fed them the same nonsense. Well done, Finrior. Well done. If there's any way we'll never reach a conclusion, it's by further spreading your "the Guardians have punished us" rubbish.
It's not rubbish. Blasted Varden. If it weren't for Ellen, we wouldn't even be here. I can't even believe we're still having this childish conversation. We should be out there, finding a solution, praying to Ellen for her forgiveness.
Yes, that would help, wouldn't it?
Now what?
Well, if there's any way to get their support, it's by helping them cure this corruption.
Then we try. We should side with Finrior. There's something about that other man I don't like.
Then let's let them know.
Where was your beloved Ellen when... Salagar, this is getting ridiculous. If nothing happens, we'll still be arguing in our graves. Tell me, your offer, does it still stand? And
As I said, I'm happy to help.
Good. Blazes, you have no idea how good it is to talk with a person of reason for once. Come, let's discuss this elsewhere.
Uh-huh.
That's better. Blasted, isn't it incredible how this old man is unwilling to see reason?
From his point of view, you're the one who's being stubborn. He seems to be a very pious man.
There's a difference between being pious and being deluded. Anyway, all the better you're here. Let's discuss how we proceed. What we need first is proof to convince Arlen. As long as he insists on fighting that plague in prayer shrines, we cannot take any real action.
What kind of proof did you have in mind?
That remains to be seen. First of all, scout Leafshade's surroundings. Just like the bloodburn, the infections don't follow a clear pattern, but all of them took place outside the city walls. I will mark the place on your map where the activity has been most extreme. Secondly, there's a human military outpost nearby. To investigate, you'll need to ask for permission to cross their borders. After the disaster in Lianan, the last thing we want is another breach of our treaty.
All right. We'll do our best.
Yes, and thank you. I appreciate your help.
Zarek's fangs, they're acting like fools.
No argument there. Let's go talk to the soldiers and see if they let us into their territory to find that proof.
For the fire wielders!
Oh, do you smell that?
Yeah, like carrion.
And the water has the same color as the blisters on the corrupted.
If you ask me, we just found the cause of this plague. And it's definitely not a curse.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Travelers, huh? Well, if you're looking for shelter, you've come to the wrong place. Huh. A traveler. Don't get many in these parts. What do you want? If you're looking for shelter, you've come to the wrong place.
Can you let us in?
As I said, no. This isn't a roadside inn. Now, sod off.
Wait, not so fast. The Moor here sent us. It's important.
The Moor here, huh? All right, fine. Come in, but make it quick. We already have visitors, and they aren't too fond of your employers.
Don't you think these soldiers will recognize you?
I doubt it. Even if they know General Noria is looking for me, they wouldn't know my
You
face.
should rethink your position, old man. The light doesn't show mercy on those who betray it.
Well, maybe the light can show you the way out of my bloody camp instead.
You don't know who you're messing with.
Oh, I think I do. I'm messing with a bunch of renegade cutthroats who think they can walk into a camp of the Royal Army and make demands just because their lunatic leader told you so. So, one more time for the slow ones among us. We won't attack those elves. On the contrary, if you do as much as lay a finger on them, you'll have to deal with us too. Are we clear?
You...
Are we clear?
Yes.
Huh? What? Wait a moment. You? Gilbert Vilmas, 2nd Division Everlight Infantry, isn't it? Blazes. What are you doing here?
I think you're mistaking me for someone else. I'm not with the army.
Oh, am I? Huh. Could have sworn. Oh, well, never mind. Who are you then? And how the heck did you get in here?
The guard let me in. My name is Tahar, and I'm with the Moor here from Lithuania. There's something we need to discuss.
Tahar? Like that sodding rebel mage bastard? Boy, I surely don't envy your name. Forentus Copper, 2nd rank sergeant to the Royal Army. So, what news do you bring from our elven friends?
Well, I assume you've taken note of this strange plague going on in Leafshade. The elves have sent me to investigate it, and are asking for permission to cross borders.
Granted.
Just like that?
What should I say? We need this plague gone as much as the Moor here. We've stayed away from the corrupted parts, aye, but we've nonetheless lost 3 men already. Just don't do anything unwise, and you can walk freely within our sectors. One more thing, though. There is something that we need done, and I don't have any men to spare at the moment. Would you be willing to help us as a sign of goodwill?
Of course. What do you need?
Well, it's simple. Since we made camp here, some of my men and women have contracted a nasty kind of fever. We ordered a shipment of herbs from another outpost in the Utran lands, but it hasn't arrived, and the man I sent to get it has not been heard of ever since. Would you be willing to search the shore for my scout, or maybe the ship itself? The weather has been rough lately, and maybe it was wrecked.
Sure. Any idea where we should search?
Aye. Do you have a map? Here. That's where we were supposed to receive the shipment.
Got it. Thank you.
Well, it's not as if we're in a hurry, is it?
It never hurts to have additional allies.
Oi, you. Wait a moment.
Me?
No. The Queen's golden tits. Of course you. Say, does the name Bertrand Carpel ring a bell for you?
Why? What do you know about Bertrand?
Not much. Only that he came by our camp just this morning and told me he was looking for someone. And the face he described looked just like yours. Anyway, I told him I had no bloody idea what he was on about. So he left. But asked me to leave a message if you should come by. Which heck knows why you did.
What's the message?
Just that he's up north somewhere, here in Leafshade, and that he'll be waiting there for you until dusk.
Huh. Well, thanks for letting me know.
Don't mention it. Safe travels.
That way?
Fine.
Well, that went better than expected.
Will do.
Attack!
No!
I hope you have a good explanation for this.
I do. I'm Iana. I and those 5 men were hired to kill you.
Sorry, but I don't understand. Why did you help us?
I'm afraid that's complicated. Do you prefer the short or the long version?
The short version.
I know that you are after a cure for the blood burn.
And that made you change your mind?
Yes. To be frank, I lost someone to the blood burn. Someone very close to me. And even though nothing is going to bring her back, I want an answer. In other words, I want to offer you my services.
How can you help us?
Well, judging from the trail of blood you left behind, this won't be your last battle. I can make sure they'll end in your favor. Also, I am... how should I put it? Different. I can feel and see things others can't.
Such as?
Such as the fact that you are plagued by guilt. It surrounds you like a dark, heavy fog. You lost someone, and you blame yourself for it.
Everybody has lost someone these days.
Maybe. Only you can know this. Long story short, I'm a dreamweaver.
A dreamweaver? I've heard that before. So you're some kind of mentalist?
Close. Let us suffice to say that I feel and perceive differently than most people. In every aspect.
Fair enough. Join us, if you must. We need all the support we can get.
Thank you.
And off she goes.
For what it's worth, I think he did the right thing. There's something odd about that woman, but she is telling the truth. And she definitely knows how to wield those daggers.
She does.